What's up, y'all? What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let everybody get in here and then we'll get right into this shit, man. Let me go ahead and announce it on Twitter. I'm gonna post this shit. What's up, y'all? Banks Larry, what's going on, man? Jaquan, what's up? Saruji, what's up? Luke, what's up? Justin, what's going on, man? Ken, man, what's up? Rich Hart, what's going on, man? Thank you guys for joining me as always. Sorry that I did not do a high five video. I will be giving you guys the high five on here. All right. Cam, thanks for doing these early so I don't have to try to listen while I drive home. Yes, sir. Played the Castellanos pivot with Sandy Leon yesterday. Worked out great. Hope you bounce back tonight. Yes, sir. Man, the worst part is our favorite version had Castellanos. Obviously, you guys know I loved Castellanos. He was in the high five. I mentioned him a million times in the live show. But me and Uncle Craig last minute were like, oh, if we go down to Leon, we get bets. So we should have kept Castellanos. He was in the favorite, as well as Urshela, who the only reason we decided to go out because I loved Bryant and Urshela at third base. I figured Bryant was going to be chalky, so I wanted to try to get a little bit ahead. I wanted to hedge on that a little bit and go Urshela instead, who was batting third, and it worked out great, double donged, but not having Castellanos was a bummer. Yo, Can the Man, what's up? Especially when I loved him. Like, don't y'all hate that shit? Like, when you love somebody all day and then you happen to, like, not have him in your final lineup and he goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? Boston is so annoying for DFS. I know. Every time they seem to be against bad pitchers, they suck. When they go against good pitchers, they're good. Cam, Astros stack. Yes, sir. I'm going to get into that, all right? So, first thing that I want to do is I want to talk about my high five. Let's go over my favorite bats and then my favorite pitchers. All right. So for pitching, I'm either going with Walker Buehler and Drew Smiley or Julio Teheran and Drew Smiley. Now, you obviously have a discount going from Walker Buehler to Julio Teheran. Teheran's only 8.8 compared to Buehler at 11.5. That's pretty much the two guys that I'm interested in. I do like, don't get me wrong, I do like Strasburg at New York for a little bit less than Buehler, so that is definitely interesting. But Buehler's been so good lately, and that last start was ridiculous. So, and I do kind of want some bats today, especially Houston. Probably my favorite stack against our boy who tends to get blown up a ton. So yeah, I want some Houston guys, and you're gonna have to pay to get those guys. So I'm completely fine with like a Buehler or a Strasburg paired with Drew Smiley, or a Julio Teheran with Smiley and save some money. Totally fine with either way. No, I like Strasburg. I'm fine with Strasburg. Him or it's either between him or Buehler. You can choose either one. Strasburg's 500 cheaper, which seems ridiculous. I would probably lean Strasburg. So Strasburg and Teheran together, Strasburg and Smiley together, or you can go Teheran and Smiley together. Either way. No Hudson. So Hudson's against Pittsburgh, and he's a righty. I kind of like to pick on Pittsburgh with lefties more, so I won't be playing much of him. I am interested a little bit in Chris Archer at 7.5, a righty versus a righty-heavy St. Louis squad. But Drew Smiley sticks out the most for me as value. I think he's the guy we put in our lineups, and then we figure the rest out. Smiley's only 5'8". He's been pitching incredibly well. He's going against the San Francisco team that's just not very good, plain and simple. He's only 5'8", so he's kind of a lock for me, honestly, at that price with his strikeout potential. So, yeah, and then I love Julio Teheran in Miami, going against a ton of right-handed bats in Miami. And we know he's been very, very solid versus righties throughout his entire career, and he's going to be facing a ton of them here. In GPPs, Gio Gonzalez is interesting because Texas is bad versus lefties, but Texas can also blow them the hell up. So in GPP only, Gio Gonzalez is decent. But in the high five, I'm going to go Steven Strasburg, pair him up with Drew Smyly. And then when it comes to the hitters, so we got Strasburg and Smyly together, right? When it comes to the bats, there's been multiple options that you can go on this slate, but I'm going to go ahead and just talk about my favorite ones. Let's start out in the outfield. In the outfield, I've got Justin Upton. Justin Upton's going against a bad lefty in Johnson at Boston. 3-8. He gets the righty-lefty matchup. I do like the Angels stack against Johnson. There's a lot of righties on that team who can mash lefties. So Justin Upton's got to be in there. Aaron Judge is too cheap at only 4.2. Once again, he's just too cheap. And then I want to do Rhys Hoskins against Bede at only 4.4. Hoskins is a very consistent. He's got a ton of power. We all know that. And he is going against Bede, who is not good at all. So let me pull up that matchup legitimately for you. So Strasburg, Smyly, Hoskins, Upton, Judge. That is the high five as of right now. So let me pull up Bede. All right, so this Philly team against Bede. Now, the thing that Bede struggles against is righties more than lefties. He gives up a 211 ISO versus right-handed bats. And, he's got a solid K rate, 23.9% versus right-handed bats, but he struggles versus right. He's got those reverse splits. He gives up a ton of power to righties. Rhys Hoskins happens to mash righties. So, yeah, I like Rhys Hoskins. There's multiple ways you could go, though. I'm totally fine with, like, Joey Votto as well if you need money. He's in a great matchup as well, going against Darvish, lefty-righty. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Walker Buehler going to get touched. Arizona is not San Diego. Soto, the best one out of Washington. I literally have none of your high five. Damn. Thanks for your knowledge, bro. Yes, sir. Quantrill did decent his last time out. No, yes, he did. Bet Baraya gets 20 DK points tonight. That would not be surprising, honestly. That would not be surprising at all. What else have I missed? Drop that like down below if you haven't already for your boy. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My high five this morning. Buehler, Hudson, Ramirez, Machado, Alvarez. Now, obviously, you can get all of the Houston bats that you want. Love Houston. They are probably my top stack of the day, to be completely honest with you, because they're getting a huge park upgrade going to Baltimore. Houston guys don't strike out. They're going against Dylan Bundy, who is so bad versus right-handed bats. Oh, so bad versus righties. He strikes out righties well, but he gives up a huge WOBA, a huge ISO, and the problem with that strikeout rate versus righties is that these guys don't strike out. Okay? So Houston's going to touch him up big time. He has a problem with giving up power, especially when he's at home in Baltimore. He gives up a huge fly ball rate, over 45% fly ball rate to right-handed bats. So it's mainly the righties that you really want to get exposure to, but the lefties are fine too because this dude's horrible. So George Springer, of course I want him. I want Alex Bregman, Altuve, Correa, Gurriel. We know Gurriel's been mashing. Brantley and Alvarez are both fine too. But yeah, get the Houston guys. I really love Houston. Yeah, the GP did great yesterday. Do I like Kansas City bats? I do kind of like Kansas City bats a little bit. All right, let's break down there. Let's look at their lineup real quick. So Kansas City today is going up against Detroit. Obviously, it's a solid matchup versus Jackson. This dude is horrible, okay? Horrible. He's a righty, so you already know who I'm going to say I love from Kansas City, right? Soler. All right. This dude's horrible versus righties. He's another reverse split guy, but he's bad versus both. Gives up over a 500 ISO and over a 500 WOBA. Like, this dude is dreadful. Doesn't strike people out. He's so bad. Okay. So stacking up Kansas City is completely fine as well. For sure, because you're going to get them at a discount, then you're going to get Houston and shit like that. And they probably have the best matchup when it comes to who they're facing on this entire slate. But Soler is my favorite overall bat on Kansas City if you just want to get like a piece of it. Soler and Dozier, both mash righties, so I'm cool with Soler and Dozier. What up, Cam? Eric S. What's up, man? What's good, homie? Big Hova, what's up? Thoughts on Dodger stack versus Robbie Ray? I won't have many of it at all, but that's fine. Smash that like down below. Drop a like down below for your boy. Bundy will go 7 scoreless innings with 10 Ks. Damn. I don't think he will. But that's how it is sometimes. If you're not going with Smiley, would you go Beat? If you're not going Smiley, if you don't go Smiley, I'd probably just go like Teheran, and I wouldn't pay all the way down at all. Ryan O'Hearn, dirt cheap. Okay, so I was just about to mention that, actually. I need to mention that. So at first base, I mean, Hearn's only 2.8. Ryan O'Hearn is only 2.8. He's going against Jackson, who's horrible. So that's definitely one of the guys from Kansas City that I want. I mean, the total has dropped a little bit in Vegas, but I don't understand why it would. I mean, this Jackson dude's horrible, like we just broke down a second ago. Ryan O'Hearn is only 2.8. He is an amazing play at first base. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love him at 2.8. Great matchup, lefty-righty matchup against Jackson. He's in that Kansas City total. He's only 2.8. So, yeah, I absolutely love him for sure. For sure. Joey, 2,400 on DK. Who is? Who is 2,400 on DK? What's up, Cam? Haven't heard high five. Check it out later. What's your best cheap bats? All positions in New York seem cheap. Best starting pitcher. Okay, so yeah, New York does seem cheap today. Aaron Judge, obviously, is a guy that I really, really like from that. Gleyber Torres is only 4-1. That's not bad either. Now, Foley's not horrible. All right, let's take a look at Foley real quick. So I don't want to like start full stacking, to be honest with you, because I don't really care to full stack, especially the right-handed bats against Foley, because he's been pretty damn solid versus righties. Now, he doesn't strike many out, but he's holding them to no hard contact, huge ground ball rate. Like every hit by righties are going to the ground. So the lefties are fine though. I mean, he gives up a huge fly ball rate to lefties. So if you want to go with like Gregorius, Gardner, that's fine. I think Judge can get a hold of one. Which is why I put him in the high five, because I think he has crazy upside, and it's been a minute since he's had a breakout game. Yeah, and Reed Foley limits power, exactly. So that's the only issue with that. Only like one-offs for two-man Yankee stacks. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go full in on Yankees at all. Springer or Alvarez? Springer. This pitcher is horrible versus righties. I think Springer's going to have a big game. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. Do you have any exposure for the Rockies game? To be honest with you, I haven't been getting tons of exposure to them. I'm not very interested to the Rockies when they're not in course. So, nah. Gio won't hit a double dunk today. Gio? Is Upton a lock? I love Upton. He's close to it. His price is very, very good. Great matchup. So, yeah. Marwin Gonzalez is only 2.9. Wow. Okay, yeah. So, that's another thing. Let's go over the value, all right? Let's look at value bats over on DK. So, Peraza, once again, is only 2.8. Ryan O'Hearn is only 2.8. Justin Upton's only 3.8. That seems like great value. I already mentioned how Aaron Judge is underpriced at 4.2. But Foley is solid. So, if you decide not to go Judge, that's completely fine. That's all good. Tyler White is only 2.4 for the Dodgers going against Ray, righty-lefty matchup. Didi Gregorius is only 4K, so that's good as well. You got a few Cleveland guys that are good. Mercado is only 4.2. Aguilar, righty-lefty matchup, is only 3.5. At catcher, you got Mike Zunino is a solid option, righty-lefty against Gonzalez at 2.8. But those are kind of the main dudes that really stick out to me the most. Oh, Urias at 2.9, and I definitely want Machado, obviously, in that game. I want Machado against Freeland. He mashes lefties. I always love him versus a lefty, and Freeland's a really not a good one. Renfroe is also a solid option there. So Machado and Renfroe are great plays, and Urias at 2.9 at second base is a good value in that game as well. Isan Diaz, so he just got called up. Let's take a look at him real quick. So lefties versus Teheran are great. They're absolutely great. You guys know how I feel about that. So yeah, I mean Diaz, I can't fault you for playing Diaz at all. And he's a damn good prospect who just came up. So I think he's a solid option. Should be betting high in the order. So yeah, he's a solid choice. Can't hate on that at all. Should be betting high in the order. That's the best part about it. Rockies are bad on the road. Do you like Quantrill? Yeah, Quantrill is fine. Quantrill is fine. I don't have much exposure to Quantrill today, but he's fine. Thoughts on Granderson? He's solid option because we know that Teheran struggles versus lefties. So yeah, he's fine. You like any bets Cincinnati versus Chicago? And will BO from Toronto ever get a 0 anytime soon? I mean, the dude from Toronto is a beast, man. He's a beast. I mean, I think he's going to keep it going. He's a great hitter, period. Bats from Cincinnati, Chicago. I'm more on kind of like the saving, like with Jose Peraza. I definitely like some Jose Peraza. I like him as value a lot of times because he's a solid hitter. Other than that, I'm not going to have much exposure to Cincinnati, Chicago today. Best FanDuel pitcher in stack. All right, let's go check that out. Drop a like down below if you haven't already for your boy. Oh, hit up Greenlight DFS if you haven't already. Let's get to it. Yeah, Peraza sucks, but you see that price, right? And what did he get yesterday? Like 7? He did all right yesterday. We don't need shit from him. Chris Archer. Yes, I mentioned Chris Archer earlier. Okay. What was I about to do? Okay, FanDuel. Let's switch over to FanDuel real quick and take a look at how we're looking over there. All right. So over on FanDuel with pitching, Julio Teheran is only 9K. I've already talked about how much I love Julio today. I really, really do like him. I do like that price at only 9K. So I would go Julio or spend down to Drew Smyly. Julio at 9K. That saves you 2,000 from Strasburg, unless you absolutely feel like you have to go Strasburg. I don't think you have to. So Julio Teheran or Drew Smyly. I like both of those guys over on FanDuel. And mainly Julio, though. And then let's look at value, guys, because value is what you really want to get right over on FanDuel. So Isan Diaz, that guy, he's batting second in this order officially. Lefty-righty against Julio Teheran, only 2-4 over on FanDuel. So he's an amazing play over here. Ryan O'Hearn's only 2-4 over here. He's batting sixth in the order, lefty-righty against this horrible pitcher, Jackson. My boy Soler is 3-6. Jesus Aguilar, 2-7. We got Jackie Bradley at 2-6 is solid. He's only 2-6, gives you exposure to that Boston game if you think that they're going to be legit. Franmil Reyes, righty lefty against Smeltzer at 2-7 is too cheap in my opinion. Renato Nunez is only 2-8. Going against Miley, righty lefty matchup. Miley's solid, but it's a dude batting fourth in the order at only 2-8. I mean, like I've said throughout this live show, my favorite stack is going to be Houston. So George Springer, Alex Bregman, Alvarez, Altuve, Correa. These guys are all great plays, and I'm going to be trying to play them as much as possible. Trout double dongs. He could, for sure. Gave up on Boston after yesterday. Yeah, I'm not playing too much Boston, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be surprised if Boston goes crazy tonight and like takes GPPs down for people because people aren't going to be on them again. People are like, fuck you guys. O'Hearn is 2-4 on FanDuel. Yep. Let's take a look at Hudson because I've been seeing some shit about Hudson. All right. Now, I prefer playing left-handed pitchers versus Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh collectively only strikes out 16% of the time versus right-handed bats. Okay, they're gonna have Adam Frazier, Reynolds, Josh Bell, and Moran, all lefties against Hudson. All right. Now the problem is that Hudson has a 220 ISO and a 397 WOBA versus lefties. He's got a very solid ground ball rate, which is cool. That's great. But I mean, with all these options on the slate, I just don't think paying that price for Hudson is necessary. If you have to in GPP, if you really have like a gut call on it, then cool. But my gut's not screaming Hudson, to be completely real with you. At 6'4", I'd rather just go Smiley. Smiley or Quantrill. I'd rather Quantrill or Smiley above him, to be completely real with you. I wouldn't be surprised to see Boston put up some runs tonight after everybody gets off of them, for sure. I would not be surprised at all. All right, what else we got? All right, Boston is not good versus pitchers they have never faced before. That's why I played D. Peters. What do you think about the 4 late night games? All right, so let's take a look at the late night games real quick. All right, so when we look at just the late night slate, when it comes to pitching, what sticks out to me is probably Buehler and Smiley. It's pretty simple to me. On this late slate, I would go Buehler and Smiley together. And then when it comes to bats, I mean, Manny Machado needs to be in at 4-4. AJ Pollock is interesting, righty lefty against Ray. You know. So yeah. That's pretty much what I have to say about that. Rhys Hoskins against Bede is solid. Honestly, I want to put Hearn over Hoskins in the high five because Hoskins is more expensive, and I think Hearn needs to be played at that price. Just got in. Thoughts on pitching. So my thoughts on pitching for over on Draftkings is let me go ahead and pull them back up. Okay. So in my opinion, I really like Drew Smiley. Drew Smiley is a lock for me at 5'8" against San Francisco. To be completely real with you, it's a pitcher's park. He doesn't need much at 5'8", so honestly, I'm rolling with Drew Smiley. Now you compare Drew Smiley with multiple people: Julio Teheran, Strasburg, or Buehler. Buehler pitched amazing last game. I'm not going to lie to you. But to be completely real with you, I prefer Strasburg. Strasburg's 500 cheaper than Buehler. And I mean, I just have to take the better pitcher, period. So Strasburg and Smiley together, or Julio Teheran and Smiley together, and then get all the bats that you want. But I love Buehler and Strasburg. This really, you can go either way. If you have the money, fine, whatever. I'm not going to hate you for it. But Strasburg being 500 cheaper is crazy to me. And I forgot we didn't do the updated home run calls yesterday. We will do that today. All right. Yankees. So I'm not too big on Yankees today. Not as much. I do like that. Aaron Judge is so cheap, and they are fairly cheap. But be careful because the righties versus this dude. Foley is solid versus righties, and so yeah, it could turn out bad. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's keep getting this shit. Greenlightdfs.com if you haven't already. Shit. While we're at it. When you make your lineup, should you use the late game players? I mean, you shouldn't really worry about it. Build it how you love it, and then if they end up in the late game, they end up in the late game. It doesn't matter. Spieth is trolling us all. I haven't even checked PGA today. I'm sure some of you have our PGA. How are we doing on PGA? Let me see. I have not checked. What's good, Killer Cam Sports Clips? What's up, man? Yeah, Spieth out here balling. Spieth is out here balling. Bo Bichetti, man, I know, man. He's been absolutely playing great. So I can't hate you on it, for sure. Cam, any football picks today? It's a small little. We did cash yesterday with preseason yesterday. I wish I would have stayed with my gut with that wide receiver from New England. I told y'all about Myers the other day. He went off. He had a great preseason game. I had him in my original and switched him out last minute. So it would have been much bigger, but either way, we cashed yesterday. I won't be doing it today because it's too small. Trying to get my opinion on Keller. All right. So my opinion on Brad Keller, he's going against Detroit. Obviously, that's always a good matchup. But let's dig a little deeper into it. All right. Now, Keller, our boy Keller, has not a very good K rate versus righties, not a very good K rate versus lefties. But the thing he does do well is he forces ground balls. That is good news. He forces over 50% of hits to righties to be on the ground, 48% versus lefties to be on the ground. Okay, and this Detroit team strikes out over 20% of the time versus righties. It's very bad. I mean, there's like almost 4 guys in this lineup that strike out over 30% of the time when facing righties. That's crazy. So Keller's fine. In GPPs, nobody's really going to be on him. So I like it. Cal Quantrill, I like him as well. I like Toronto stack versus Hap tonight. Gives up lots of power. He does. Braves may come back after a bad night last night. I would not be surprised to see the Braves do very well today. Let's kind of break that matchup down real quick because I would expect my Braves to have a solid game here in this one. All right. Now, going against Caleb Smith. Now, everybody loves Caleb Smith. Don't get me wrong. I feel you. I understand it. But the Braves plays that you really want to get exposure to, Ozzie Albies has a 294 ISO versus left-handed pitching. He's been crushing lefties. Adam Duvall with a 545. Now, obviously, it's a small amount of plate appearances because he hasn't played as much this season. But he's been mashing lefties so much. Culberson mashes lefties. Freeman obviously hits lefties. Donaldson hits lefties. The whole Acuna, Albies, Freeman, Donaldson, Duvall would be like my preferred stack. If you don't want to play Freeman lefty, then it's fine to go Acuna, Albies, Donaldson, Duvall, and Culberson. Those 5 guys mash lefties, honestly, better than Freeman does. All 5 of them hit lefties better than Freeman does. Acuna, Albies, Donaldson, Duvall, and Culberson. All right. Gio Gonzalez. So I always love lefties versus Texas. For sure. I was thinking about Darvish, but I didn't hear you mention him, so I may change up. Honestly, I haven't considered Darvish too much today. In my opinion, I won't be playing much of him because Cincinnati is a huge, like it's a hitter-friendly ballpark, and Cincinnati's a solid hitting team. And Darvish is 9.2. It's just a little too much. I would prefer Teheran. That's the only reason why. In GPPs, you could do whatever. You like your boy Soler? Of course. Of course I do. All right, we're coming up to the 30-minute mark. Let's go ahead and touch on the home run calls. Let's get our home run calls today. All right. So first and foremost, Soler is going to home run. You guys know me. I love me some Soler. This matchup is too good. So I got to go with Soler. All right. That's first and foremost. All right. Now, I'm going to call the cheap home run of Ryan O'Hearn as well against Edwin Jackson. Edwin Jackson's probably the worst pitcher on this entire slate. Okay? I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. He's probably the worst pitcher on this entire slate. Now, Brian Johnson is really bad versus righties too, so an LA stack is sneaky as well. In GPPs, Angels are sneaky today because I don't think anybody's paying up for Mike Trout and the Angels today. Okay, so Mike Trout is going to dinger. Love him. JD Martinez should be able to get him one. The only issue I have with Houston today is they're my favorite stack, but they're expensive as hell. So it'll take Teheran and Smiley together to be able to stack up Houston. But if you believe in them, go right ahead. Soler. Who else did I have on here? I talked about Duvall. I love Ronald Acuna as well. Ozzie Albies is another Atlanta guy that could hit one today. I'm gonna call it that Aaron Judge gets one, even though the first matchup going against Foley is gonna be tough. But when Foley gets pulled, he could definitely get him one. I love Yasiel Puig going against Smeltzer. That's a great matchup. Didi Gregorius going against Foley. Foley lefty righty is great. Michael Brantley, I love for Houston. Justin Upton, have him in the high five for a reason. I think he goes yard today. Eugenio Suarez, love that guy. Josh Donaldson, another dude who mashes lefties. And then Manny Machado against Kyle Freeland. Got to play Manny versus lefties for sure. So Manny Machado for sure against Freeland, and that's it, y'all. That is the home run calls. Any love for a Brewer stack? All right, let me check on that real quick, and then we are going to head out of here. I got to get back to this slate. Grind time. It is grind time. So you said Milwaukee, right? Shit, I already forgot. What did you say? Any love for a Brewer stack? Okay. So yes, I do like a Brewer stack. I do. I'm completely fine with Ryan Braun's probably my favorite. They'll be going against Allard, a lefty. So Braun is a lefty masher. I'm not down with like full stacking them. Like I like guys like Kane, Herrera, Braun. Those guys are decent, especially Braun. Do you like a giant stack? No. Hey, bro, just got in some questions as always. Best cash stacks and pitchers. Favorite pitchers on this slate is going to be Strasburg and Smiley, but you could easily go Buehler, Smiley. I don't care between Strasburg and Buehler. They're pretty damn close, but I'm leaning Strasburg just because he's better in general, in my opinion. But you could also go Teheran and Smiley if you need bats. My favorite stack is probably Houston today. I do love Kansas City as well. Boston has to earn back my trust, but I do like a few guys from Boston, like especially the righties, because Baraya struggles big time versus righties. So JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, if you have it in your heart to have faith in them one last time, they are in a great spot. And yeah, is Urshela necessary today? I don't think he's absolutely necessary today. I liked him a lot better yesterday. Great show, Letter Bro. Yes, sir. Hiura and Braun is fine, or however you say his name. Hiura? Yeah, that's completely fine. Bregman, love Bregman. All right, guys, thank you guys for joining me as always. Get some Houston if you can, and remember, it's Buehler, Strasburg, Smiley, or Teheran as your pitchers. Choose between those four as your core guys. Get some Houston guys. Get some righties on Boston if you want. If you haven't lost faith, maybe stacking Boston and GPPs is sneaky tonight because people might be off of them because of how bad they've been. You know what I mean? So stack up the righties for Boston. Betts, JD, Bogaerts. Get some righties because this pitcher has bad reverse splits, struggles badly versus righties. We are going to smash this shit tonight, plain and simple. Greenlightdfs.com. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and I'm out.